Hello. So yes, console review. In fact, so probably the first console review I have done in quite a long time. The last video game console I purchased was a PlayStation 4, and that was in 2014. And that was the last video game console I have reviewed. That would have been on my old YouTube channel, I believe. So yeah, it's been a while since I've reviewed a video game console. I have purchased other gaming devices, but in terms of video game console type devices, yeah, the Switch 2 is the first one I've reviewed since the PlayStation 4. So yeah, Switch 2. So I have a Switch 2, and I have been playing it for a good amount of weeks. So I thought it'd be nice to do a little review. This was almost a Switch 1. Basically, I was saving up Argos vouchers that I've been getting, doing various market research, app testing, that kind of thing, websites, saving up because I got enough for a Switch. This was back in early 2025, and I was like, I've reached the amount, let's get me Switch. And this is on me for not reading the small print. You were only allowed to use a certain amount of vouchers per transaction, so I was not able to use the vouchers to get a Switch. So where I was saving up quite a few, like £10 vouchers, it would obviously take quite a lot of those in order to be able to get to the price of a Switch, and you weren't allowed to do that. So that's on me for not reading the small print. So I used those vouchers for something else in Argos, a few other things, and then I started saving up again, and this time I was saving up like 50s, so that, you know, obviously there wouldn't be a problem with how many you used in one transaction. But I ended up doing it with Currys this time, because I discovered that Currys had a refurb section. So I don't know if you know this, because I didn't know until I discovered it when I was searching for Switches online and the best prices and that kind of thing. Yeah, they have a refurbished section, so you're able to save a bit of money on tech, and this is actually a refurbished Switch too. And as is often the case, I wouldn't know it was refurbished if I didn't know. Basically, it's a very good job they've done, and it looks like new. To be honest, seems to play like new. So that's very good indeed. I mean, Switch 2s haven't even been out that long, so the fact that one's been refurbished, I don't know, I guess, you know, sometimes people only keep them for a little while and then send them back, or maybe it's an ex-demo one. So I haven't played a Switch before in my life, either one or two. The only time I've quickly played a Switch one is like a demo in like a Smith's or whatever, to shop, you know, one to play a demo of, but I've not owned one, so I haven't played them properly. So yeah, yeah, this is refurbished. I managed to get it for a good price, and yes, I managed to use my Currys vouchers. I was going to get Switch 1, but then I got to this sort of point where I was like, I've actually got enough saved up now for Switch 2, and as Switch 2, thankfully, I'm very glad they did this, has backward compatibility. I thought, oh, I'll get that Switch 2 then, be able to play all the games I wanted to play on Switch 1, and have some of the advancements that Switch 2 offers. So I'm currently charging at the moment, so obviously there is a wire connected, but when you're not charging you won't have that. Yeah, so the screen might not show up particularly well on another screen as I'm recording, but yeah, the screen is sharp, it's clear, it's a good size, very good size for me, I have to say. And what really amazes me is how light it is, considering the power of this console, what it can do, the size of it. It's very thin and it's very light, so you can have it in your hand for a good amount of time without it starting to feel too heavy. To be honest, it feels lighter than my mobile phone. I've got a Pixel 10, and I think the Pixel 10 might weigh more. It certainly feels like it does. Maybe it's because Pixel 10 is more compact and smaller, whereas this is flatter and, you know, bigger. Maybe that's why it feels like it weighs less, but I would like to actually weigh both of them and see which one weighs the most, because it actually feels like this, a full console, weighs less than my Pixel 10. But anyway, yeah, so the screen looks great. I'll get onto games in a moment, but yeah, the interface is really good. Obviously you get your home page, and there's always lots to do. You know, you can look at news, you've got game chat, you've got Nintendo Switch Online, you've got places to look at demos, you can play free demos, occasionally free games, and all that kind of thing. So that's really good. Oh, and also, yeah, one of the points I was going to make when I was saying about how light it is, if you do though not want to be holding it anymore, so not using it as a handheld, you can of course play it by popping on the back. You can pop this open, pop this on your surface, and then you've got your Joy-Con controllers which detach from either side, and then you can just play with those, and you can then do a freestanding version of it. So it's handheld, it's not a handheld, it's both of those things combined, and it works very seamlessly, very well. I think the battery power seems to be pretty good, really. It takes a while before it needs charging after playing quite a few games, so that's good. Yeah, obviously I can't compare to a Switch one because I haven't got a Switch one and haven't really played a Switch one. From what I know, there are some additions, I think good additions rather. Well, I know there's some good additions, such as screen and power as well, the power behind it. I'm sure, I can't think of them off the top of my head. I'm sure some people have pointed out some things that are not so good about Switch 2 compared to the original Switch, and I'm sure that's true. I can't remember what those things were, so you know, there's advantages and disadvantages as always. Yeah, I'm really liking it so far. I'm loving it, I would say. In fact, it's really good. I find the Joy-Cons really easy to use, and the joysticks work well. You've got your buttons all perfectly placed for me. It never feels like a stretch. Now, I know this is going to depend on your hand type, maybe how this feels, but for me, it just feels very, very natural. It feels like one of the most natural fitting handhelds so far. Even if you compare to using controllers and consoles, it just feels so natural. Yeah, and obviously if you are taking the Joy-Cons off, which easily come apart when you hold down the top button, and then you're going to play freely when you use the stand. Yeah, that works very well as well. They're extremely light, as you imagine, because they're small little things. Yeah, very good indeed. Yeah, you've got a nice bright screen, but also you can change the brightness anyway as much as you want. The colours on games look great. Obviously, it depends on the game you're playing in terms of how that performs, but the game I'm playing, I'll get onto shortly, as I say. Yeah, you've got lots to do in your interface there. There's a bit more I sort of need to look into. I think you might be able to keep photos and all those typical things that they do. I need to look a bit more into that. Oh, sound is very good. Yep, sound is good. Yeah, all in all, very, very good. Now, let's get on to the game. So, the game I got with the Switch, they were providing it as a digital download, so I don't have the physical copy. They gave the digital download, is Mario Kart, the newest one, which is Mario Kart World. So, big fan of Mario Kart. So what I'm about to say, I don't say lightly. I played all the previous versions. Console versions are my favourite, but I do also like the arcade version a lot. And I do like the mobile version. It's a good adaptation of the Mario Kart franchise for mobiles. I have played it a lot. I do like it. But yeah, the console versions are my favourite, and the arcade. Yeah, and I think with the Mario Kart series, they're all good, but there are certain features in some of them which are like, oh, I like this about that one, and that kind of thing is how I often feel with Mario Kart, you know. And then there's something missing in one, and you're like, oh yeah, but it hasn't got this and that kind of thing. So this is why I say that Mario Kart World, the newest version, let's select it. Mario Kart World. Oh, I was going to select it, but there's an update. I was going to show it on screen, but there's an update needed first, that's fine. But yeah, Mario Kart World, there you go, there it is in that first square, is my favourite version of Mario Kart I have played. As I say, I'm not saying that lightly because I really love all the previous versions anyway, with various good things about them. The reason why I think this is the best version I've played is to do with what I was just saying. This feels like the most complete version. It's got so many of the good features from previous games rolled into one, and you don't feel like you're missing out. Oh, they haven't got this feature, they haven't got this feature, because there's so many different things from various Mario Kart games, and it just feels like the very close, if not the perfect package. You know, I'm sure some people might find it not the best. They might not like some changes, some new things, something that is missing maybe. But for me, it feels like the best package so far of a Mario Kart game. So that's because it has, as I say, lots of the older features. I'm glad it's got coins. I always like the Mario Karts where they have coins. I'm glad they've stayed. Great selection of items as well. I like that it's got different vehicles. You can go into the water with your boats and fly with your helicopters as well as your carts. I'm glad they kept that feature from the games where that's been a thing. Yeah, so it's got that, but it also has its own unique features as well to highlight. So perhaps the most noticeable one is there's now a free roaming world. You can meet various Mario Kart characters, like roaming shy guys that like to chill on the bench. You can interact with them, you can find hidden things, and you can just use this open world to practice your driving and just chill if you like, have more of a chill driving experience, so it's not just a racing all the time. That is really good. I really like this feature. That's kind of up my street. I like that. But the races themselves, don't get me wrong, are great. Yeah, and one of the reasons why they're great is because of the course design. I think this game might have some of the best Mario Kart course designs so far, and that is saying something, because they're already on a higher bar. There is a lot of interaction with various things that are happening around the courses. You know, it's not just you battling against your other players to win. You also got to battle with what's going on with the courses. They're just really imaginatively designed. They look great. The graphics are great. Very, very good. Lots of good effects going on. Also, something else I really like is the railings feature. So, on the outer edge of the courses, you have railings to go onto. Sometimes these can lead to a really good shortcut. Sometimes they're not the shortest route. So, a nice bit of strategy is to try and remember in each course which bits lead to shortcuts, which bits don't. I really like that, and also could be used in a strategic way, because if somebody's about to, I don't know, throw a green shell at you, you can quickly try and go on the railings to avoid it and that kind of thing. And yeah, items are really good. Now, one thing that's different when you're playing a championship, a cup, the course continues. So what I mean by that is, say you've just done the first cup of a course. So on the first one of every cup, you'll get the normal 3, 2, 1, and then you need to go. Of course, press it at the right time to get your boost, but you go. And then when you're on to the second course, you're on a rolling start, and it continues straight from the previous course. So the courses are all connected. When I looked at a review for that, for this version of Mario Kart, this particular person didn't like that feature. I wasn't so keen on it. I actually like it. I think it works well. So maybe that's something that some people won't like. But yeah, I liked it. What else to mention? There's a lot to mention, everything. I'm just trying to think of some of my personal highlights, because I don't really have anything negative to say about it. I'm sure, as I say, for some people there might be some negative things, but for me, I haven't found anything yet. I've really been liking it a lot. So another good thing is the battle. So I've always liked the battle modes in Mario Kart. They are great multiplayer fun, as well as the main races, of course. But yeah, they've done good with the battle this time. I think some versions of the battles and some of the Mario Karts weren't as good as others. But I like what they've got here. You've got a lot of different modes over plenty of different courses. The classic balloon, keep your balloon, is there. Idea we got to keep your balloons, be the last standing with all your balloons intact, or at least with one at least intact. Another positive to mention is characters. There are so many characters. You unlock more as you go along, but you start with a lot as it is. And yeah, there's more to unlock, so there is a lot of characters. Some characters I've never even played as before, because for example you've got characters from the Raving Rabbit series, and I've never played that. That's like the Mario and Rayman crossover type thing, which I've not played. So I've been playing as one of those characters in Mario Kart. They're fun to play as. Yeah, you've got a great selection of characters to choose from, vehicles, things to unlock. I think maybe you can't customise your car as much as maybe some versions. I'm pretty sure there was some where you can change colour more and stickers and stuff maybe, I'm trying to remember. maybe you can't quite do that as much on here. Maybe that'll be a future update, I don't know. But maybe they just got so many other options, they decided not to add that, I'm not sure. But yeah, in summary, and I think this is pretty clear, this is a great game, highly recommend it. And so to summarise, Switch 2 so far, so I've only played one game, so we'll see what other games are like. And of course, I want to get into playing some of the Switch games, the original Switch games that are already out. But so far, Switch 2, very, very good. And Mario Kart, very, very good as well. Mario Kart World, that is. Yeah, so very pleased, enjoyed playing them. And yeah, if you have a Switch 2, let me know what you think. Or even if you have a Switch 1, I'll be interested to know. And perhaps what you think about the Switch 1 compared to Switch 2. Because one thing is, Switch 1 is a fair bit cheaper than the Switch 2. And I was able to get the Switch 2 because I had the vouchers, so that really helped. If I didn't have vouchers, I would have got a Switch 1, and the upgrade Switch 2 offers might not be worth it for the extra money. That's something to think about. But yeah, let me know what you think on Switch, and of course Mario Kart World, is it your favourite Mario Kart? Because it is mine. Yeah, I'd be interested to know what you think of that.